We are GOLDIVY.
Our mission is to empower you to own and unleash your truth.
Stories of resiliency are gold, and ivy grows in hard places.
Those hard places are what create space for light to shine through.
You decide what works for your daily life and how to transform our lessons into your gold.
This is Ivy Unleashed,
a GOLDIVY production. Vulnerable story alert. This message is for any person struggling with the embarrassment of excessive underarm sweating and or underarm odor. I've never shared this before, so bear with me. I am a big sweater. I swear I sweat when I think. I used to carry deodorant in my purses, car, backpacks. I did not go anywhere without deodorant, and I applied it dozens of times a day. I haven't been able to wear colorful t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, or sweatshirts since I was 16 due to excessive underarm sweating. And recently, one of my armpits started to smell like onions anytime it sweat. See, I told you this is a vulnerable message, but I wanted to let you know about a treatment I found that has changed my life. This treatment is called miraDry and is for your underarms that greatly reduces sweating and odor. I have had one treatment so far, and I am a new woman. I can officially wear colored shirts without pit stains for the first time in decades, and my armpits no longer smell. I also no longer wear deodorant. I simply don't need it. miraDry uses thermal energy that targets and eliminates the sweat glands in your underarm. Let me repeat that. You just need 1 to 2 treatments. It is the only FDA-cleared treatment that can dramatically reduce underarm sweat by addressing the root cause of excessive sweat and its accompanying odor, not the symptoms. So if you're like me and have had to worry about pit stains from your sweat, excessive sweating even when resting, or planning your day around sweating, miraDry is your solution. Not only has miraDry erased my sweat problem, but also my armpit hair. I used to have to shave every single day. I am walking proof that miraDry works. Once the glands are eliminated, they will not grow back. I absolutely love my miraDry experience, and it was made affordable with a no-interest payment plan. You can find a clinic that provides miraDry all over the U.S., so head to miraDry.com to see where the closest location is for you, and don't wait another minute feeling embarrassed about your body. And they have these wonderful patient concierges who will answer all your underarm questions about the treatment. Thank you for letting me share this vulnerable information with you. I am walking proof that miraDry is a life-changing treatment. Nobody should be embarrassed about their bodies, period. And if you want more information, miraDry services will be linked in the show notes, and you can also message me directly to chat more about it.
Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every episode of Ivy Unleashed is dedicated to empowering you to take ownership of your health. And what it really comes down to is prioritizing your mental health.
We've both seen the beauty and growth that therapy can bring and are thrilled to partner with BetterHelp to allow you the opportunity to feel heard and seen by a professional. The National Alliance on Mental Health reports that 155 million people live in a designated mental health professional shortage area, and BetterHelp is working to close that gap.
I've personally used BetterHelp and loved it because it was all online, making it super convenient. The biggest piece for me was how affordable it is. I was able to choose the therapist that met my needs. I came in with wanting to work on childhood trauma and anxiety, and it was unbelievable to see how many options I had with all the different backgrounds of therapists.
With BetterHelp, you have access to a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness. And sometimes we can't see our own patterns and behaviors until we talk them out and get an unbiased perspective.
It's really nice to have someone who doesn't know you and has the professional background to help you thrive in your daily life. It has made the world of a difference with every relationship in my life, including the one with myself.
To get started, all you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire about your needs and preferences and choose your therapist out of the options they give you. You can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. Also, you can switch therapists at no additional charge until you find the right fit for you.
The best investment you can make is in yourself. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/goldivy. That's betterhelp.com/goldivy.
Take the first step to inner peace and freedom today. And now to this episode of the Ivy Unleashed podcast. Welcome back to Ivy Unleashed. Today, we are pumped to talk about a topic that I could talk about all day long. I feel like this is my life's mission. And I know Brooke does this with women all the time in our coaching calls and in her own life. And what we're talking about is tapping into our potential, busting through ceilings, seeing what we're made of, seeing how great our life can be, seeing what that potential is that so many times we just don't even brush the surface of it.
Oh, it's so cool to think, and I think this is why it amps me up so much, that we have no idea what we're capable of. Like if you would have told me I could run 26.2 miles without stopping, I would have said, yeah, right. No way.
Yes. And what we want to talk about today is what kind of even got Brooke to start to think about it, like how she noticed the cues that got her there. And it doesn't have to be about running, right? This could be about your mental health, like how good you can feel. If you feel like you always kind of have this lull energy, it's low, and you want to just like have a higher vibration. You see someone that's just always amped up. You just want a little piece of that.
Yes. It's about not settling, right? If we are not happy with where we are, there is something within you that is saying, ooh, maybe, just maybe, what if, and that's what we're going to dive into today. What if you could feel better? What if you could run that race? What if you could live a life that you were so happy to wake up to?
Yeah. And this, like Brooke's kind of hinting at, can be any part of your life. It could be about learning a little bit more about something that you know, like you just hate that you don't know a lot about it, or you're just intrigued by it or interested and it's a little quirky and weird, but you've always wanted to know more about it. Or it could be with your career. It could be relationships, right? You want to have better friendships or elevate your closest relationships, right? What could that look like? It could be around your relationship with food. It could be a relationship with your body, with exercise, you name it. So we just want to invite you to be open and just reflect on what's kind of been calling, tugging on you, and just to listen to it a little bit more. Like just take a second to think about what's the thing for me that's always kind of nagging at me or chirping at me that I know I want to tap into a little bit.
Yeah.
Or a lot. Either way.
So let's talk about how we do it. Right? How do we push past these beliefs that we have? Because ultimately they are beliefs. They are stories we are telling ourselves of what we're capable of. And that first step is to really identify what you want. And the next step is to identify what belief is holding you back. And a lot of times it comes back to fear.
Yes.
Fear of failure, fear of missing out, fear of whatever, you name it. The reason that you are where you are is because A, it's comfortable. Right? But B, it is serving a purpose. We wouldn't be doing what we do. And this is kind of getting into NLP work, if you're familiar, right? Neuro-linguistics programming of everything we do. So if we are eating a food that we know isn't serving us, there's a reason that we're doing it. It is meeting a need. And sometimes that need is being comfortable, feeling safe and secure. And until we realize what that fear is, we can then, I like to look at it as befriending it, right? Like for me with running a marathon, it scared the crap out of me, but I thought, what if I could do it? And although I'm scared, how do I make it less scary? And it's about breaking it down into actionable chunks, right? Steps that we can get some momentum going. And as we get that momentum, that belief, that confidence, that trust in ourselves, it builds. And then you think, okay, if I could just run 5 miles straight, why the hell can't I run 7? Right? You start getting almost amped. And I feel like where we are right now is, all right, if you would have told us we'd be here 3 years ago, we would have laughed in your face. We would have been like, damn, that's really cool. But we would have been like, how? Right? And so it's knowing where you want to go, what you want, but focusing and narrowing in blinders on what is that next step. So we want to talk about a process called dreamlining. It's in the book, The 4-Hour Workweek, which we both love. And it's about how do you get from point A to point B?
Yeah, because it can be overwhelming to think of that big thing. Like, for example, for me with business, I want to create a business that allows me the freedom to go on vacation and create memories with my family anytime I want and not have to worry about money. That's very different. It's very different than like me learning how to edit a podcast, right? Because that's part of the process. I had to go from this big vision, my purpose, and imagining these feelings I'd have. I want to embody them. I want to feel the beach, and I want to feel the ocean. I want to hear it. I want to think about my kids running around me on the beach, right? And you have this like big vision, and there's all these things that you can do that you ultimately want. But then when you break it down step by step by step, and it's all about just, like you said, those micro moments of what is the next step? And I don't have to let that overwhelm me or feel like it's too far away, because it's really not. Like everybody you see living out the dream life that they're living, they all started somewhere and they kind of followed the breadcrumbs, right? And a huge piece of this is just caring for yourself along the way so that you can have the clear mind to think about, okay, for today, what can I do today? And I think it's this like muscle of building that, like being able to be uncomfortable. Because Brooke and I, like in business, every day are doing something we never thought that we could do. Like, and some things we don't even want to do. It's uncomfortable. Like Brooke and I are always learning technology things that we resist, right? Because we're like, we know at the end of the day, we don't want to be staring at a computer and using a mouse to adjust volume on a podcast or learning how to promote something on social media. Like we want somebody else to do that for us. But in the meantime, we're doing all these little tiny things that are getting our business to where we want it to be. And that could go with anything. That could be like with your meal planning idea. Like sometimes that's so overwhelming to think about having this beautiful meal that you created. How do I get there? Right? I want to have this degree. How am I going to get there? I can't afford it. I don't even know what I'm going to study. I don't, whatever. Like we can get so overwhelmed by that big end goal. But I think it's just slowly those small steps of showing yourself, I can get a little uncomfortable. I can do this. I'm not going to die if I learn how to like edit a podcast. I don't want to. There's some resistance, but if I do it, it will ultimately help me with my end goal.
I know why I'm getting uncomfortable. And I think it's important to have both pieces. There's the small steps that get you there, and then there's the big vision. And without having that big vision, you're like, why am I even doing these small steps? Right? But without having those small steps, you don't even know how you're getting that vision. So it's important to have both. And it's important to have clarity, right? Getting specific. And I feel like to do that, something that has really helped me is getting it on paper, right? Like I have my big goals right now, like my dream lining, my top 4 things that I want this year. I have them on my phone notes. I pull up my phone notes multiple times throughout the day. I am debt free. That is what I see. And then I have it on my time blocking template, what we use to manage our time. And I look at that multiple times. So it's always in the back of my mind because I'm always seeing it throughout the day, right? And then you have it broken down into those steps and you know what those steps are. But are you taking the time to get clear on what you need? Think about right now, what do you want and what's the plan to get there? What is it going to take to get you there?
You all know we're always sharing our favorite items that improve our health and help us feel better. So wait until you hear about this. Nano Fit Water.
Nano Fit Water is alkaline water, which means it helps neutralize the acid in your body. It's triple filtered, which reduces unwanted chemicals and toxins. It's supercharged with nanotized oxygen, which hydrates the body at a cellular level. And it's all natural, meaning there are 0 additives or artificial flavors.
My biggest reason for adding NanoFit into my routine is for the performance and recovery benefits. As a runner, a faster pace and quicker recovery is what I'm after, and this water is a game changer. I feel better before, during, and after both cardio and strength training with the added oxygen and hydration benefits.
And I'm here for the gut health and skin benefits. Alkaline water has colon cleansing properties, reduces the acid in my body, and the fact that NanoFit water is triple filtered, it's going to help with my gut health. And when my gut is on point, so is my skin.
I'm against the waste of standard plastic water bottles, but NanoFit water is in 100% eco-friendly aluminum bottles that are shipped to your door by Amazon, taking the shopping hassle out. No more water bottles taking up a ridiculous amount of space in your cart or having to carry the heavy weight into your car and home.
You're about to see NanoFit everywhere. They're in Starbucks, Kroger, hospitals, and making their way to stores near you. We're thrilled to share its health benefits with you today, so you can ship NanoFit water right to your door.
NanoFit's mission is to help you feel better function better, and sleep better, which we all want. So head on over to nanofitwater.com to order your case. It'll ship through Amazon, and use code GOLDIVY for a discount.
Fit your lifestyle with Nano Fit Water.
Brooke, what do you think everyone wants more of?
Energy.
What do you think most people are hoping to come out of 2023 with?
Feel more confident, be an example for others, actually have the self-discipline to take care of themselves.
Yes, exactly. Because we hear the need for it and we want to help you get in the best shape of your life, we created Move with GOLDIVY, our virtual workout platform.
Our dream has been to create accessible, affordable, and effective workouts that you can do anytime, anywhere, designed to hold you accountable and get you the results you need.
You can pick any workout you want at any time, but if you do want a plan that alternates muscle groups and leaves your body feeling energized and strong, we have a weekly plan that you can follow to take the guesswork out.
It's easy to navigate and packed with all kinds of workouts that will help you strengthen, trim, pump up, tone, energize, de-stress, all of the things we want our body to feel. It's within Move.
Don't forget to mention the resources we offer. As a member of Move with GOLDIVY, you'll be a part of our exclusive Ivy League community, where we share our top wellness resources on things like meal planning, gut health hacks, time management, and more.
And because you listen to the Ivy Unleashed podcast, we want to offer you all of this for only $20 a month, cheaper than any monthly membership you'll find.
Not only that, you'll get a free trial week to test it out.
And if you need more incentive to start prioritizing you, here's our favorite part. Your movement matters. Each month, 10% of your membership will be donated to support the mental health of those in need.
So head on over to goldivyhealthco.com/move or find the link within the show notes of this episode and sign up today. Stop putting yourself in the back burner. Snag your spot and reap the benefits that you deserve to feel this year.
It's your time. Move for your health, move for your confidence, move for your mental clarity, move with GOLDIVY. And what we're noticing in business too is it's like those breadcrumbs, right? Like a lot of times we don't really know what comes up, but we know what is in our control that we are focusing on. And then it's like the beauty of, where will this go?
And something you touched on earlier that I think is really important is everything we do, there's a reason for it. We might not totally understand as we're doing it, like as you're stress eating or you're procrastinating on social media or whatever it is that you're doing. It's keeping you comfortable, and comfort feels good. We don't have to judge ourselves for wanting to scroll or wanting to stress eat or wanting to zone out or whatever it is. It is serving a purpose. And I think when we're really trying to tap into our potential and do something big, it requires a lot of energy. So sometimes we do need those times where we are allowing ourselves the comfort, right? But then there's going to be days where you have a little bit more energy and you're like, okay, I'm going to stretch myself a little bit today. Yes, it's kind of windy out. It's raining a little bit, but if I run outside, I will feel way more proud of myself than if I ran on a treadmill because there's different conditions. And I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I was out there against the wind and I did it. I have more energy. I'm capable. I have the outerwear to wear. I'm going to do it. And it's just like that with anything else, just stretching yourself a little bit farther because you're feeling like, okay, I think I can do this today. And just don't overthink about it. Just like go for it. You know, and the more that you do those little stretches, you're just developing that muscle of I can do these things that are just a little bit more uncomfortable. You're going to feel the reward, and then you're going to want to do it again and again, and it will waterfall into every area of your life.
Yeah, like Ed Milet has the power of one more, right? And I really like looking at it that way because it's less overwhelming. Like thinking about stretching yourself, thinking about going on a stage when you're terrified of public speaking, like maybe that's not your one more. Maybe your one more is signing up for a class, learning more, right? It can be whatever you need it to be to allow yourself a little stretch, because that little stretch is what's going to get you uncomfortable, but uncomfortable enough to build confidence, to build trust. And I think that's what this all comes back to is I trust myself to figure it out, right? To know what I want and not be afraid of going after it. And for the longest time for me, it was like, what do I even want? You know, I'm not happy with where I'm at, but do I know where I want to go? Or am I so focused on not being here that the way the brain works is you're giving it attention, so it's keeping you there? I think about being sick, and I I just would ruminate it and I would think about it and think about it. It wasn't until I got super clear and that vision of her, of what being healthy was like, that I didn't feel better until I could clearly see her. And so you listening right now, something is calling you. And instead of focusing on not having it, put your attention to what you want and the steps it's going to take to get there. This is all about mindset shifts. When you think about it, it's the belief in yourself. It's knowing that you are worthy, like tying this all the way back to self-worth. I think a lot of it comes to, do I believe I'm worthy of all of these things, of being able to travel and not worry about money when I didn't grow up with money, right? It's like, what is that worth story that I'm telling myself?
Yeah. And I think you, with your worth, need to know that your time is worth your energy. You are worth the energy and you are worth the time of figuring out what this focus is. Because we can always get to the housework. We can always pour into other people. We can always think about what we need to get for groceries or what's next on our task list for work. There's a million different places we can focus, but it's just another form of procrastination from what you really want, right? Now is the time to tap into it. Now is the time to think about what you want, because who knows how much we have left, right? You do not want to be sitting on your deathbed. You do not want to be thinking when you are incapable of doing something of what you wish you would have done when you had this capacity. Like right now, the capacity you have to take care of yourself. You're listening to a podcast about self-growth. You are ready to tap into whatever that is. And maybe you're in the midst of it and it's uncomfortable. And sometimes you feel like giving up. But we're here to tell you, you have what it takes.
Do not give up.
Do not give up, and refuel in any way that you need to keep your eye on the prize.
You know, I believe we have this innate wisdom in us that we know what we need, right? And it takes quieting the outside world, the noise of the shoulds, the social media comparison, the fear, the beliefs that are holding us back. It takes quieting those down to hear what's calling us, right? And for me, that looks like meditating. It looks like being still, being quiet, being open to receiving what are these little sparks of light that are within me, within my heart. And you have those too. And so you listening to this, you have something. Like Andrea said, whether you're already chasing it or maybe you're just toying around the idea. What if it's exactly what is calling you?
And you can listen to it when it's noisy too. Like you don't have to be meditating in total Zen. Like you could be watching a movie with a group of people and you get this like ting of jealousy or some admiration, or all of a sudden your eyes well up with tears because you're like, you see someone chase their dreams and you're like, you want that for yourself. Right. And so sometimes you're listening to music and you get this feeling and you feel it in your body. What is that, right? What is pulling on you? What are you kind of craving in your life? Because we get clues all the time, whether you pray about it, you meditate on it, you're watching something, you're drawn to someone, those things, like pay attention to what you're drawn to. Pay attention to what gives you a feeling in your body. Just start paying attention to you, to what is calling you. That's all we're asking. And then from there, we can figure out the steps and we can figure out what the big dreams are. But you've got to kind of get in tune with your body and what you're attracted to.
Yeah. And I think for me, that's why meditating was so powerful, right? You can get those clues from anywhere, but really what to do with those clues is where I found the most power from meditating. So find your practice, find what you need to carve time out for you to start listening to these dreams, start putting these dreams in action, but be open to them.
So what are your dreams? What is calling you when you tune in? What is happening right now? It's an open-ended question. It can go anywhere. Like Brooke is saying, just be open to what is calling you right now.
Yes, there's always a ceiling placed on us, right? And if we do one more, we can bust through that ceiling enough to see what's on the other side of that. And so I want to ask you, are you willing to do what it takes to test your potential? You have the power. Only you. This is your life, your one life. What are you going to do with it? All right, your 3 gold stars for today's episode. First one is write down 3 dreams you have and choose one you can take action on today.
2, write down your biggest fear or limiting belief that holds you back from this dream.
And 3, what if we silenced that fear? How would you feel?
And lastly, your piece of gold comes from Jen Sincero. She says, human beings have unlimited potential, and most of us are just scraping the surface of our powers. We pretend we've done everything we can, and we work harder and harder doing the same things we've always done, hoping for different results. Meanwhile, there's almost always a solution right in front of our faces that we're ignoring because we've decided it's out of the question. This is GOLDIVY signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold.